Hey guys, welcome to FM Driving School. So there's been quite a lot of questions asked regarding about your driving lessons, your theory test, your driving test. There's been a bit of a confusion, and we're going to try and answer some of the questions as much as we can from what we can read from the government sites. Okay. So, for example, I think on the 8th of March, the restrictions are going to be easing off, but technically on the 12th of April is where, especially regarding driving test, theory test, and driving lessons will open up. Now, what happens in regards to your theory test if it's expiring? And so we already know from previous, but people are still asking, is it can we extend it? Unfortunately, your theory test, if it's expiring, you cannot extend it. So if you had a test in April, say, and that was your last chance, unfortunately, you're gonna have to take the theory test again. I'll just say, guys, in terms of theory tests, don't worry. Like, even if I had a student, the theory test was running out, I would be saying to them, look, it's another £32, I think £32, a couple of days of revision. Trust me, it's better just get out the way, then you'll have another 2 years without worrying about the theory test in order to pass your practical test. So don't stress too much if your theory test is running out, guys. I know it's easy to say it's not a big deal, but trust me, you guys can hopefully pass it within a couple of weeks. Obviously, the main concern will be the waiting period, but we're going to make a video soon on how to get a driving test booked or a theory test booked very quickly within about 2 weeks, even a week. So watch out for that video. I already made it. I just need to upload it. In regards to England and Wales, so let me just show you. So again, I'm on the government's website, roadmap out of lockdown. So here's a 4-step ease to lockdown in England. So let me just open that link and I'll check that in a little bit. The main thing is, if you look further down and scroll down here, so this is a key part, because what's happening in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and we already know what's happening in England. But the confusion is, are the tests going to open up in these three nations? So you can clearly see there's a national lockdown in England. There's restrictions in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Therefore, it seems that England has a higher level of restrictions because it's nationwide. So I assume, as an instructor, that if England does open up its tests, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland should as well, if not earlier. So we're just going to quickly go through and see if there's anything that we need to take from it. So you can see these are the cities that seems to be restricted. Stay at home, stay at home. Here you go, level 3. Let me just go back, and then if you go to, say, Wales, okay, alert level 1. Let me just see. Oh, it doesn't give the cities here. Okay, and finally Northern Ireland. What the restrictions means. So it doesn't really give you the cities here as well. It tells you what you can or cannot do. But the point is, guys, it seems like, I reckon, you three nations will either be opening before England or be following England, because it seems like we have the harder restrictions. As I'm going through the government's website, you can see this section here, the roadmap. This roadmap is a step-by-step plan to ease restrictions in England cautiously, starting with schools and colleges. And this goes back to the Twitter feed of, let's read it, in line with the government's roadmap announcements, driving theory tests will resume no earlier than 12th of April. But it does specify, here you go, in line with the government's announcement, driving theory tests will resume no earlier than 12th of April in England. Here we go. That's the key part. Let me just go back now. Okay. The devolved administrations are setting out separate plans for Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, recognising the importance of clarity for those who live and work in different parts of the UK, particularly in cross-border communities. The government will continue to work closely with the devolved administration. The lockdown has had significant impact on the economy and businesses. I don't think this is as important. So my main concern is, what about the rest of the UK? Clearly, you guys, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland will be governed separately. We will be given an update from DVSA, what's happening with your driving test. But it does seem, I don't want to make too much of an assumption, but it does seem like you guys will follow England. And I reckon if you don't open up sooner, you'll open at the same time as us. I don't expect you guys to open after us, just purely because it seems like we're in a higher tier of restriction than Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And as I said, unfortunately, let me get the theory test and check if your driving tests are taking place. You can always go to the site and see if it's opening up. If you haven't received an email about your driving test being cancelled, keep checking it every day. We do know for certain up to the 12th of April, all tests are cancelled in England. Okay, in regards to other three nations, we haven't been updated yet, but keep checking your emails. You should be getting an email if it's going to be cancelled. Okay. Let me just see. In terms of driving lessons as well, another question should be asked: can we drive before the tests open up? I assume as an instructor, we're going to be given a message saying maybe a week before or 10 days before, maybe we can start doing driving lessons for those who's got a test coming up. I make that assumption, but we do know 100% at the same time that they're saying driving lessons shouldn't happen before the 12th of April. But there needs to be a balance. So I think DVSA will work closely with the government and try to find a way to help those students who got a test coming up, because you can't do a test on the day while not being able to take driving lessons, a week before. It's really not fair. So I assume the government and DVSA will work together and try to find a way to help you students out. So guys, I will be making more videos and updates, especially in regards to how can you find a driving test really quickly. I'm going to try and give you guys a few solutions. In the meantime, do check our site out. We've got a lot of resources. Once they're up, I'll let you guys know. And keep a lookout. So subscribe to FM Driving School. Click the notification button, especially the video that's going to be how to find your driving test really quickly or theory test. So watch out for that video coming up very soon.